Welcome to Spare Part Kitting Process Descriptions, and thank you for your interest. We hope you'll take time after this short presentation to explore the other Triad Unlimited presentations on YouTube, follow us on LinkedIn, and visit our website to see all our service and training offerings. Spare part kitting is a term used for identifying parts that are necessary to perform a proactive task, gathering those parts before the work begins, and storing them so that they're accessible for use and protected. SP4, this function as spare part kitting, is about what that process looks like. Kitting parts processes define how to set up a kitting location and secure it, and how to initiate kitting and fulfill kitting requests. As with all functions, there are 4 processes associated with spare part kitting. The 4 processes are establishing and sustaining a kitting location, defining how a kitting area is accessed and controlled, developing a process to initiate kitting, and developing a process to fulfill kitting and return unused parts. There are several benefits associated with spare part kitting. Establishing a kitting location streamlines parts issues to work orders. The technicians always know where to go to find parts for their assigned work. No more hunting around in the storeroom. Securing a kitting area promotes part availability when the kit is issued. Securing the area ensures that the temptation to swipe the parts reserved for a job is reduced or eliminated. Having a process to initiating kitting allows proactive spare part management and inventory control. Parts associated with a work order can be identified as soon as the work order is planned or the proactive task is scheduled. A process for fulfilling and returning kitted parts makes maintenance more efficient. You spend less time at the counter doing paperwork and inspecting parts, and less waste from unnecessarily discarded parts. Process 1 is spare part kitting layout. Kitting storage areas are where spare parts and materials associated with a work order are placed when they're picked by storeroom personnel. This area should be clearly identified, and technicians need to be trained to find and retrieve the kitted parts. A kitting area is typically within the boundary of the storeroom, with a special means of access for technicians to retrieve parts, such as lockers or code locks or something like that. Once established, the kitting area real estate must be sustained despite the occasional temptation to store other things in the area. Process 2 is spare part kitting security. Security is important, of course, but so is accessibility. A process has to be developed and documented in order to define how kitted parts will be secured and accessed. Methods range from fully autonomous retrieval by use of lockers or other secure containers to requesting a kit at the issue counter to be retrieved by a storeroom attendant. Process 3 is spare part kitting initiation. When spare parts are received, the inventory specialist can review for which work orders are waiting for the parts and update the work order status to reflect that the parts are available so the job can be scheduled. Then a report is usually generated to communicate which work orders have been updated, and storeroom employees will use this report to prepare the kits ahead of time on a frequency chosen at the site level. The frequency is usually between 1 and 5 days ahead of time. Therefore, it is important for maintenance planning to regularly communicate to the storeroom about new work orders that are planned and require parts. When kits are assembled, the kit location will be updated on the work order in CMMS so the technician can quickly get the kit and start work on schedule. A reservation list should be checked daily and a cycle count completed for each new reservation. If the inventory remains within the min-max range, then nothing needs to be done until it's time to create the kit per the schedule. Our final process is kitting fulfillment. I'm going to talk through an example process and follow along and just mark the transitions as we go through it. As it starts, technicians will go to the kitting area for all work orders involving planned spare parts. Any unused spare parts will be returned and related transactions will be completed by the storeroom operator. The goal here is to kit 100% of all planned work orders involving spare parts and only schedule work orders when they're fully kitted. Large sites can expand that service to include delivering kits to remote kitting areas or to stage large bulky items at the job sites, like boxes of air filters or large motors or pumps. This is typically done using a daily spare parts delivery routine that delivers spare parts and retrieves and returns empty kits. Storeroom operators build the complete kits and insert a work order showing the planned spare parts, and then they secure the kit. The kit will be stored in the storeroom, not in the kitting area, until the scheduler assigns a scheduled date. Once the work order is scheduled, the storeroom operator will place the kits in the kitting area with the date field entered. It's a good practice to use a kit identification card that shows work order number, scheduled start date, and fields for the technicians to give feedback to the storeroom operator. Incomplete kits can be marked and the missing or incorrect spare parts listed. Kits with return spare parts can be managed with the same card. To summarize, spare part kitting involves identifying and sustaining a kitting area, securing the kitting area, initiating kitting, and having a process for kitting fulfillment and part return. This concludes the spare part kitting process descriptions presentation. Thank you for participating.